Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Aha, there we go. Okay, that's what you love. There's not like the big welcoming committee and like do, come on in. There's none of that.
Oh my God, you
So,
have a great singing voice.
oh, you know what? I'm going to share this with my family because they don't think I do. So thank you.
Definitely. But yeah, so how's your day going? It's so great connecting with you.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's 9:42 a.m. So in all honesty, my day is just beginning. What time is
Yeah.
it where you are? And where
Oh
are you
yeah.
exactly?
I forgot. I mean, it's morning over there. It's 2 p.m. over here. So
Okay.
yeah, half the day is gone. And I was actually complaining about the temperature over here to my mom. I was like, it's really cold. But then I searched out of curiosity, like Germany's temperature, and it was showing around like 4 degrees Celsius. Also, it was raining. So yeah, I'm never going to complain about the winters over here ever again.
What's the temperature? Where are you exactly, and what's the temperature?
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, I'm from India. To be specific, in a state called Rajasthan. It's in the northwestern part of India. So yeah, right now it's 20 degrees Celsius, and
That's
in
that's cold.
yeah, and during summers it can reach up to like 45 to 48 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. So do people work and do things in that heat, or what do you do to survive that?
Oh my God, we have to. I mean, air conditioners are the options, and staying hydrated, wearing light cotton t-shirts. That's all we can do. Carrying umbrellas. I mean, I do. Most of the people don't, surprisingly. But I always do, and I always wear sunscreen. Sunscreens were actually not that common in India, which is quite surprising because it's
Yeah.
a very sunny country. Like, the sun is there throughout the year. But I'd recently, actually, through social media, I got to know the importance of sunscreen. So I started wearing it like 2 to 3 years ago. Crazy, I
Wow.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So then how do people protect their skin and not get, I mean, I am, as you see, I glow in the dark. I'm so white. So I have to wear sunscreen. But so how do people protect themselves then from the sun?
Usually by wearing like scarves, like the light cotton scarves, or just
Mhm.
covering their face. I don't know, people just don't believe in sunscreens over here. But I think it could also be because of melanin, that the sun
Mhm.
doesn't affect our skin that much. Yeah.
Yes, makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. So, Jennifer, as you're on my channel for the first time, would you mind giving a brief introduction of yourself for the audience, please?
Gladly. So, my name's Jennifer. You can call me Jennifer. You can call me Jen. That's short for Jennifer. And I come from the United States originally, from Nashville, Tennessee. That's in the southern part of the United States. Most people know it if you think of country music, because it's a very
Yeah.
big place for country music. And then when I was 14, I moved to Los Angeles with my father. He got a job there, and I went to high school and university there. From university, I met my now ex-husband, who is German, and we moved to Germany. So since 1996, I've lived in Germany. And I started teaching English because I was illegal in Germany and I didn't want to get kicked out. So to get a job that didn't take a job away from a German speaker. So, as a native English speaker, the German government sees you as you are not taking a job away from a German if you teach English. Even though I didn't have a degree, they didn't care. They were like, okay, you can get your stamp. And so I started teaching and fell in love with it. And I teach primarily what I like to call conversation English, where people can kind of come to my lessons and share what they know. I present a topic, you learn vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs, conversation points, and I try to design my lessons so that it's not just any old lesson. You can come and you learn things about yourself. You learn English, you learn about yourself, you learn about the community around you. And that's what I do.
Yeah, that's so great. Um, it's honestly very impressive. So, but like living in Germany, obviously you came across German language, like the, but how, was it difficult to learn the language? Because I hear about it that it's quite difficult and some of the words are also very difficult to pronounce.
Yes. The German, so I came with a bit of a different attitude. I only thought I was going to be here for 6 months. So
Okay.
I had a bad work ethic when it came to learning German. I wanted to learn it because I thought it would be nice to be able to know the language that my partner spoke. But I was not like, I'm going to be amazing at this, or I didn't really have such a great work ethic. And it is a hard language.
Yeah.
It's pronunciation, I think, in comparison to English, even though the words are like this long, they're very, very long
Yeah.
words. It's all pretty phonetic. So if you know
Hmm.
kind of the IE is an E sound, and EI is an I sound, if you know these different sort of ways of speaking, then or using the letters, then it's that's okay. But the grammar is insane. The
Hmm.
grammar is kind of like, what? I don't think so. So I speak German. I have a very strong accent. I speak it, my grammar is all over the place. I understand a lot. I would say my level of understanding is at least a C1.
Hmm.
With most subjects, if it's a topic I don't know, then it's like A minus. That doesn't exist, but but pronunciation, I say one word and people know instantly where I come from. There's no hiding it, but I'm not trying. It's actually a good conversation starter, to be quite honest. And I think
Hmm.
that it makes it actually nice. This is what I always tell my community too. Everybody is trying to sound like a native speaker. Don't. Be you. Don't put that pressure on yourself. I get into the greatest conversations with people because of this accent. You know, it gives people an opportunity to get to know you, to exchange ideas. And so, yeah, as long as people understand you, that's the main thing, I
Exactly.
think.
No, that's what I tell people as well. Because some people come up to me and they're like, well, do you know some teacher that could teach me British accent? And I was like, well, why do you want to learn British accent? We are from India. But
Yeah,
if your accent is clear, if the person in front of you is able to understand you, you don't really need to work on the accent specifically.
I agree. I think that puts so much pressure. And I think that also kind of stops people from learning English because the
Yeah.
pressure's too high. You know, I am never going to have a perfect German accent. I'm just not. So why should I put that pressure on myself? It's more important to be able to express myself in the way that I express myself in English. I feel that's important. Like I
Yeah.
always express to my students, they should learn vocabulary, that they should try to find a bit of the equivalent of words that are important in their own language. Because we have, you know, language is really like it's kind of an identity card, if you
Yeah.
will. You get a really strong sense of a person by the words that they use, and being able to express yourself and be able to emit that feeling that you have in your own language in another language. That's more important than being fluent sounding wise. Be fluent in spirit, not in sound.
Yeah, exactly. Viewers take note. Um, Okay, so one thing I wanted to, yeah, discuss actually. So I don't know much about German language. However, I do know that even the non-living things, I think they have gender in German.
Yes.
So that's actually very similar to Hindi, which is widely
Oh,
spoken, one of the languages that is spoken in India. Um,
yeah.
so, like my mom, she is also learning English language, and so she tells me, well, Hindi is way easier than English. But then
Really?
I try to make her understand, well, that's because it's your native language. That's why you feel like Hindi is easier. Because we also have genders of non living things, and somebody who's not a native Hindi speaker, they would have absolutely no idea what to gender the chair or the book, which is weird.
Right.
Like you have to sit down and think, is it a she or a he?
Yeah, and they have that. And also another interesting thing with German is that they split the verbs. So like you have
Hmm.
to listen to the end of the sentence to know actually what the action is. So it's really good for your attention span because you have to listen to the sentence. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're like, aha, there we go. Okay, that's what you want. Yeah.
Okay, so when you first moved to Germany, what were the cultural shocks that you faced?
Well, when I first moved to Germany, sometimes in Germany we have really horrible summers. Oh my dear, you
Hmm.
would not like this. Rains the entire time. It's like 16 degrees, 17 degrees. I mean, summer. Nobody wants that in summer, you know?
Yeah.
Of summer that I moved from Los Angeles to Stuttgart. And it was, I ran around with a turtleneck on and sweater, and I just could not put enough clothing on. I was just like, oh, what did I sign up for? So the weather was a big shock. That was a culture shock for me. That it can really be like for months, and you like, I live now in Hamburg, and it goes for months, and you like suddenly it's sunny, and you're like, that's what was missing, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, so weather's an issue. I think the directness of Germans, that was a massive culture shock. In the States, we're very, very like, we're not very direct. In comparison to
Yeah.
the British, we're more direct. I don't know how it is in India, if you're very direct with each other and you say what you mean and like right on the top of the head. Are you
No,
direct in?
we are not. I mean, I think we would be somewhere between the Germans and the Americans when it comes to directness. So,
Okay. That
I mean,
that's a to be. Yeah.
yeah, sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, I find that's a healthy place to be, somewhere between the Germans and
Yeah.
the Americans.
Yeah,
That's healthy.
probably.
Still honest but nice, you know. And a lot of times for in Germany, people will tell you things they don't like. You know, being saying
Yeah.
things, being direct about things you don't like. Whereas in the States, I grew up. You know, your parent will tell you 1,000 times. Every American parent will tell you if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And here, it's like if you don't have anything nice to say it. If you have something nice to say, don't say it. And so it
Okay.
was really hard to get used to the directness of the Germans. It's not coming from a mean place. They
Yeah.
want to make things better in their own little world. But yeah, that was tough. That was
No,
really
but
tough.
like, how do you figure out if they're being rude or they're just being Germans?
Because they're Germans and that's just what they do. They say, they
Yeah.
think, and like, you know, if you're, it was really like when I had my baby for the first time, every German had to comment, it's either dressed too cold, it's too cold for what, you know, for what my child was wearing, or too hot, or that's not the right position, or this, I mean, strangers on the street. And I'm just kind of like, thank you, whatever. Doof, doof.
Yeah.
But you have to get to that point because when you're not used to it, then you feel really insulted and hurt. And
Hmm.
it's nobody likes to hear critique, bad
Yeah.
critique, you know? So
Yeah.
I had to get over that a little bit.
Yeah. But living in Germany for so long, I'm sure you must have picked some German habits and maybe you let go of some American traits. Has that happened?
Definitely. But I only notice it really when I go back to the States. So when
Hmm.
I'm in the States, I'm like, ooh, that was mighty German of you, you know, like trying to run at the door and get the door before an elderly lady,
Yeah.
and not keeping it open for her. You know, I mean, you just survival of the fittest, folks. You know, I need to get in there. And so there are things like that. But also on the opposite side, like I actually like the directness now. I like
Hmm.
being able to talk to people about real things. And I feel like often when I'm in the States, it's difficult to get into a conversation with someone about anything of substance, anything really real. You know, everyone's like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm happy, I'm great, I'm perfect. This is so wonderful. Oh, it's so amazing. Awesome. No, not everything is awesome. You know,
Yeah.
some things suck. They just do.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that with Germans because if you want to go down honest lane, then you can totally do that with a German, and that's also freeing. So I like that a lot, and I miss that when I'm in the States. I'm always tiptoe around everybody about what I talk about because I know it's limited.
Yeah. Um, One cultural shock, or whatever you want to call it, that comes to my mind is that, so I was scrolling and I saw a reel of
Mhm.
an Indian guy that recently moved to Germany, and he said that he was carrying so many bags with him. And usually in places like India, people can come up to you and volunteer to just carry your bags for you. But like
Oh,
he said that nobody came up to him, and then he had to carry all the bags himself. I think he was, I don't know, he was going uphill somewhere, and he said that it was really difficult. So yeah, that was pretty shocking actually, because people do come up over here if you need help of some kind.
okay. Okay. So it's not like, okay, I misunderstood you in the beginning. I thought that it was like that somebody will come and offer to help carry your bags so that they can
Yeah.
make money.
No, no, not for
But
the money.
just because out of their heart, the kindness of
Yeah.
their own.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not happening here. And even no. And I was even visibly like very, very pregnant. And I was working in Frankfurt and I had a 45-minute commute. And I would stand on the train in the morning with a full train and nobody would offer me their seat as
Mm-hmm. Oh.
a really pregnant woman. So, or carrying, when you're trying to get in and out of public transport, someone helping you with the stroller with your child. It's not that type of society here where people understand that actually in life, it's kind of the game of life. And we're all in it together. So let's help each other. Let's be kind to each other. That does not really exist here. No. Yeah. And when you come from a culture where you do have that in the beginning, you feel so alone. I had a
Oh.
lot of times where it was just, alone. There's not like the big welcoming committee and like, do, come on in. There's none of that. It's just like, whatever.
Oh my God, you
So,
have a great singing voice.
oh, you know what? I'm going to share this with my family because they don't think I do. So thank you.
Really? No, you do. And also your voice quality is really great. So like, if we have to compliment somebody in India for their voice, we just say that, oh, you could become a radio jockey. Like, why don't you go over there? Like your voice quality is crisp. So that's what we
Oh,
say over here. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's very sweet. I like your voice as well. Very
Thank you
sweet.
so much. No, so if I were in your place, I would have started crying, like if people were
Yeah.
that cold to me. So, but then when did you start feeling a sense of belonging in Germany? I mean, I'm not talking about citizenship or learning the language, but like truly feeling like, yeah, that's your home now.
To be quite honest, I don't really feel like I have a home anymore. Like, I don't really feel
Hmm.
at home here in Germany. I'm a foreigner here and always
Yeah.
will be. But now I've been here for so long that when I go back to the States, I feel like a foreigner there too. So I'm a
Hmm.
little bit homeless, if you will. And that sounds sad, but it's actually freeing in a way because I feel like I could be comfortable and live and do well in many different situations. So yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, citizenless or whatever, stateless. But so I don't really feel like I belong here. No,
Hmm.
not really. There are a lot of things where I'm just like, what am I doing here? you know,
Hmm.
but but it's okay. It's okay. It's a great country to live in. We have amazing healthcare. You have so many rights as a person here. In the States, very easily, if I need to get an operation and it costs a lot of money, either I die
Hmm.
because I cannot pay for it, or I end up under a bridge because I can't pay for it. And here
Hmm.
you have such a healthy safety net for the citizens, and it's beautiful and clean and green. And we go to South Africa in the winter a lot, and stay there for 2 months. And the entire time that I'm there, I'm like, is this safe? And I don't have of that, here in Germany, it's totally safe. As a woman, I can walk down the streets and not fear anything at all. So there are so many amazing things about this country, but home, no, it's not my home.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, no, but do you think if you were living in some other country, maybe you would have felt more, I don't know, quote unquote, welcomed? Maybe it's the people, maybe it's just how they are in Germany.
yeah, maybe. And maybe there's a part of my attitude where I'm like, I know I'm doing me. I'm not going to blend in. I still like in the grocery store, I see a woman with cute shoes on. I'm like, "Oh my God, I love your shoes," in German, right? And she just kind of looks at me like, "What are you trying to sell me?" You know? I don't care because I think it's so important for me to stay me and to remain who I am and to spread sunshine if I have sunshine to spread rather than, not. So maybe it's a bit of me. I think if I had realized, okay, don't compliment these people. They don't want it. They don't need to hear
Hmm.
your words. They don't care. Then, maybe if there were certain things like that, then I would have blended in. So maybe it's something both. It's the
Yeah,
country, the citizens, and it's me. I want to be me, and I
yeah.
don't want to much.
Yeah, no, if you kind of like start trying to blend in that culture, I think you can lose some part of yourself. Because like
Definitely.
you love complimenting people, which I love about you. Okay, we in India, I don't think we do that. Yeah,
No,
nobody over here is used to getting compliments like that. I mean, sure, online people would comment, or like on my YouTube channel, people could write something like, "Yeah, you're really pretty," or like, "I love the way you talk." But like in real life, it would be very rare for somebody to be approaching me like that and complimenting. But
like I
people
said,
should start, yeah, people should start doing that.
yeah. I think if it's from the heart, there's so much negativity in the world,
Yeah.
and like, you're walking around and you love your shoes too, and you're like, oh yeah, aren't they great? A little celebratory moment. I don't
Yeah.
know. Very American like that. But I like that about Americans. I like that there's this
Mm.
free flowing of positivity. It's like, keep that negative stuff to yourself. Nobody needs to hear that. Sometimes yes, but the majority of the time, not really. And
Mm.
so, yeah.
Yeah, about
It's
the healthcare, I think it's such a basic human necessity. What Germany is doing is actually something that should be implemented worldwide. It's just so sad that like Americans are not really able to afford healthcare. Like that's the
yeah.
number one thing that you need as a human being. In India, well, I'm grateful for that. The healthcare system is pretty affordable, so anybody could just go to a government hospital and get whatever treatment they want, and it's not based on appointment system. Like you pretty much get treated immediately in a day or two. So which was quite shocking for us when we heard that in other countries people have to wait for months for an appointment, which is like scary. Like what if I need something urgently and then I just have to keep waiting for like months? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, and don't get me started on education in the United States. That it's so crazy how expensive education is.
Hmm.
And this is something where from as an American who's lived abroad for so long, I look at my country and I'm like, why does our country not want to educate our citizens? And why does it not want to make sure that they're healthy? I mean, this seems like, just a basic. It's like for me, I feel like, yeah, we shouldn't even be discussing this. If you're,
Yeah.
especially if a country can afford it, then to the basic necessities of education and health should be standard. And
Hmm.
that it's something that is discussed, that many people who go to university in the United States end up with student loans that take them 20 years to pay off.
Hmm.
Like, imagine you go to university and you have over $100,000 in debt when you graduate. And that's not abnormal. That's not just, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I said
Yeah,
just shouldn't get me
no. So
got
when
myself started.
so basically when you start a job, when you start getting salary, you're just paying off your debts. And then you
Yes.
you you can't even save up for a house or whatever your long-term plans are. That's so scary.
Yeah, I don't understand it, especially because in Germany you pay very, very little. It's
Yeah.
almost free. It's actually, and I feel like that's not actually great either, because I don't know how it is in India, but here it's like you pay about 300 euros per semester, which
Hmm.
is nothing, especially if you
Yeah.
compare that to the United States, where, yeah. But I think a lot of people take it for granted here. So I
Hmm.
feel like education should be for free, but every person, no matter who you are, should either have to serve in the military or social service for 1 year, that you give back to your country what they have given to you. That's what I think.
That's actually a great thinking. I never thought of that this way. In India, it's like
Yeah.
so it varies a lot. If you go to a public school which is like heavily aided by the government, the education is pretty much free or very much affordable, but then the quality of education also drops over there. So like
Hmm.
a lot of people that I have studied from the government schools are not good at English, or can't even speak it at all because of the quality of education. And then there are private schools which can be expensive. Now that also varies from mid range to high range, so that depends. That's how it is in India. But the quality of education should be improved in the public schools as well, so that everybody gets chance to have some good quality education.
Yeah, definitely. I find that because that's very similar to the American system, I have to say,
Hmm.
where like the private schools, the education system is amazing. And public schools, depending on where you live, if you live in an affluent neighborhood, then your education will be better. If you live in a poor neighborhood, not so much. So,
Hmm.
but in Germany, here's the interesting thing is that they have a system here where the public education system is so good that actually people don't want to send their children to private schools. So you have to be good enough to get into the public schools. And those who don't have good grades, who can't make it, they go to private schools.
Yeah.
So, and pay money. So the free system is good. And there's the system that we have here. And in fact, teachers prefer to teach in the public schools because they have more money, they get more vacation time and all kinds of stuff, benefits. And the teachers that graduated with lower grades, that are not as good, typically, not all, but typically end up in private schools.
Hmm. Okay. So, as a wrap up question, I want to ask you, if
Yeah,
somebody in their 20s wants to like just leave their home country and move abroad, what tips would you give? Because I think you also moved to Germany in your 20s. So, I think you would be a very suitable person to answer this question.
that's a fun question. I think that you need to go with the understanding that the first 6 months are probably going to be very hard.
Hmm.
I think with today's day and age, we didn't have internet, we didn't have, Facebook and all of these things, and talking on the phone was super expensive.
Yeah.
So and that maybe that's also a good thing because when you get to some place, then you should try to kind of get to know the people, try to get to immerse yourself. And I think the danger maybe today is to stay in your own culture because you can
Yeah.
call your parents every hour, talk to your friends all night long, and so you don't get out and meet people as fast as you might if you said, okay, I'm not going to take my phone and take my friend with me shopping today. I'm going to go shopping on my own. I'm going to interact with locals on my own. So I think like having more of this open mind, like pretend it's the 80s or the 90s. And
Hmm.
you don't have social media and you go out and you try to meet people and the old fashioned way and people who
Yeah.
are in front of you. And when you get, lonely, you always can like, okay, let's WhatsApp or send a photo or share a meme, but, trying to give yourself time during that time to become part of the culture or to experience it. And that, like I said, the first 6 months are hell.
Hmm.
I never, in the United States, I never, ever, ever ate at McDonald's. And I would have, like, my first year or two, every once in a while, like every 3 months, I would have a craving to go to McDonald's in Germany because it just felt like I know this place. I know the smell. I know the grease. I know the ugliness. I know everything. So yeah, allow yourself those treats. Even though you're like, what am I doing here? I would never.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and yeah, just go with an open mind, and you're gonna have good
Hmm.
things. You're gonna have bad things. There's a lot of like I compare a lot. It's just my nature, but and I think that's okay. But thinking like everything's better at home, try to find the things that are better there at your new place. Try to actively look for things and to go the positive comparison route, I would say.
No, it was so great connecting with you, Jennifer. Really loved talking to you so much. Thank you
Me
so
too.
much for connecting.
Thank you. Please keep me posted on what goes on with your
Yeah,
study.
of
So
course. Yeah.
curious.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay, so have a great morning.
you too, my dear.
Yeah.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye bye.
Bye. Appreciate it.